Today we are going to talk about the auditory pathway. First of all, we want to know about the receptor for the auditory pathway. Receptor is hair cell. Hair cells located above the basilar membrane. Basilar membrane has supporting cells. Above the supporting cells, there is presence of hair cells. In the modulus, there is a presence of spiral ganglion. Spiral ganglion has central processes and the peripheral processes. Peripheral processes are connected to the hair cells. Central processes are continuous as a cochlear nerve. Here is a spiral ganglion. It has central processes and the peripheral processes. Central processes are continuous as in cochlear nerve. Peripheral processes are connected to the hair cells. What is hair cell? Mechanism of hair cell is, here you can see kinocilium or stereocilia. Longest cilium is called kinocilium, shortest cilium is called stereocilium. When stereocilium moves towards the kinocilium, potassium channels present on the membrane opens. This causes influx of potassium. The potassium, when high concentration of potassium in the hair cell, it leaks out through the membrane. This potassium causes influx of sodium, forces the extracellular calcium into the hair cell. This potassium forces the extracellular calcium into the hair cell. This calcium brings the vesicles to the membrane. Fusion of vesicles on the membrane. Then neurotransmitters are released. These neurotransmitters causes depolarization of the postsynaptic membrane. Here is the neuron is present here. This causes depolarization of the neuronal membrane, and this is the peripheral processes of the spiral ganglion. Then into the spiral ganglion, then into central processes of spiral ganglion and cochlear nerve. Then auditory pathway. I will talk about the auditory pathway. Hair cells are the main cells which convert the mechanical energy into electrical energy. When stereocilia moves towards the kinocilium, potassium channels are open. Potassium influx leak out the potassium. Calcium influx, then calcium forces the vesicles to the membrane. Neurotransmitters are released. Action potential is started. Here is the hair cell. These are the central processes of spiral ganglion or cochlear nerve. This enters into the, here you can see the Ponto medullary junction. It extends to the Ponto medullary junction. Then it travels inward. Ponto medullary junction has dorsal nuclei and the ventral nuclei. Ponto medullary junction has dorsal nuclei and the ventral nuclei. See here. The two ventral nuclei are connected each other. This body is called the trapezoid body. These ventral fibers, only ventral fibers, relay onto These ventral fibers rely onto the superior olivary nucleus. Superior olivary nucleus. Only ventral fibers. See here, only ventral fibers rely onto the superior olivary nuclei and remaining dorsal fibers. Dorsal fibers travels upward. It does not rely onto superior olivary nucleus. It remains upward. Then these superior olivary nuclei and dorsal fibers meet each other. These two fibers run each other. This bundle is called the lateral lemnisci. This bundle is called lateral lemnisci. These two bundles, this lateral bundle, rely onto inferior colliculi. The superior olivary nucleus two are communicated each other. Here also inferior colliculi. Then above the inferior colliculi, these fibers rely onto medial geniculate body. These fibers rely onto the medial geniculate body. Here also medial geniculate body. Then into the auditory cortex present in temporal lobe. Here is the auditory cortex and also the insula. Here you can see hair cells. Hair cells are the main cells which convert the mechanical energy into the electrical energy. These are the central processes of cochlear nerve. In the Ponto medullary junction, it has dorsal nuclei and the ventral nuclei. These two are rely onto dorsal nuclei and ventral nuclei. Only ventral nuclei fibers rely onto superior olivary nucleus. Here you can also see ventral fibers rely onto superior olivary nuclei. Dorsal fibers directly runs upward. These superior olivary nuclei fibers and dorsal nuclei fibers meet each other, forms the lateral lemnisci. Then the two lateral lemnisci fibers are rely onto inferior colliculi, then medial geniculate body. Here is the auditory radiation. It is called auditory radiation. Dorsal ventral nuclei, superior olivary nuclei, dorsal nuclei run upward, forms lateral lemnisci, then inferior colliculus, medial geniculate body, auditory cortex. It is the auditory pathway. Lesion of these fibers causes ipsilateral hearing lost. Here is the right ear. Right ear hearing is lost here. If central connections are damaged, then both hearing defects are seen. Both eye hearing defects are seen when central connections are damaged. This is the auditory pathway.